Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts. If you got one on your chair. What you're about to hear, in fact, I'm going to give Ted time to make sure everything's working back there, because I don't want to miss a bit of this. I've had the privilege of knowing Michael Weeder for about 4 years. And when he started the shop in Sherlock, he called me and let me know he had bought the company and started this company. And it was a few months later that I really fully engaged in this company. I had never, in my entire career, both in corporate America and in network marketing, I have never enjoyed working with a CEO like I do Michael Weeder. I told you earlier, when he says he's going to do something, you can better believe it's going to get done. Integrity means everything to me. When he really had me, well, two things. Number one, when we had him here about a year and a half ago, we worked him like a dog. I mean, we were meeting late, early, worked him hard, and he was tired. And there was a dinner meeting that night, and I told him, why don't you go back to the hotel, take a little nap, and you can be a little late for the meeting tonight. And everybody I've ever worked with before would have taken me up on that offer. And he said, no, I'm not going to do that. I want to spend every minute I can with the people, because the people will make this company. And he didn't know at the time, but I'm inside, I'm crying. I'm like, man, this is the kind of guy I want to hang with. Because he cares about each and every one of us. It's not lip service. You'll see that. His heart will come through so loud and clear. The other thing that sold me on him was once my wife got to meet him, she said, I love this guy. To me, my wife is a great judge of character, and when she told me that, I'm like, woohoo, we got someone I can trust. Because I'm a sucker. I always trust everybody and get burned, but when my wife says she loves and trusts somebody, that means everything to me. And his partner, his girlfriend, Dolores, awesome couple, people. You guys, let's give him a big stand ovation. This guy's awesome. I can't hardly wait. I'm going to gather with you and listen to this. This is going to be great. So Mr. Michael Weeder, our CEO.
Thank you. This is kind of my favorite part, is being able to share with you guys a little bit about kind of why. I'm really going to go over facts and figures with you and show you why we're positioned so well right now, and really what you can expect. Well, I'm going to kind of give you a vision of what you're going to see over the next 5 years and how we're positioning this company to take advantage of it. But, you know, and when we're able to, you know, part of a business, and you guys all know this, it's about timing and trends. It's about getting in front of the right trends at the right time and then being able to execute. Do you have on the PowerPoint, is there a clicker, or are you just going to do it basically? Okay. So, and you know, with timing and trends, I want to actually recognize several individuals that are in the room too. I want to recognize Ken Stoll. You know, Ken basically had a concept called Consumer First about 2003, I think it was. And it was really a great concept. It was a cash back concept where every time that you buy something, you get cash back. And you know, unfortunately, he was just a little ahead of his time, really. You know, and we've seen that before, where you're just a little bit ahead of your time, but really a visionary, understood where things kind of were going. And you know, since then we've had Discover Card cash back has become a regular part of what a lot of us are looking for. And so, you know, I appreciate his vision. Mark Levesque basically helped to set the foundation, the platform for, you know, for what Shopping Sherlock kind of has evolved to with his previous company as well. So I want to recognize basically your efforts and your vision, really, you know, because there was a lot of people that had the vision. But in business, it's also about timing. And sometimes if you have the vision, the timing is not correct. And then even with the timing, you really have to execute. And part of the execution is building the team. You know, and we couldn't do this. I want to recognize really quick, you know, Chuck Williams, who's a phenomenal leader. You know, if I had to be, and his wife Diane and Sherry and a lot of the people here in St. Louis that have really set the foundation here. You know, it really is about, as we're building $1 billion company, because that's really our goal. I can't do it without the team. And when you're talking about people that you want to be in the trenches with, basically building a company, Chuck and Diane, I couldn't ask for a better team to be able to build with. We were fortunate that we were able to attract Ron and Judy. into this company, and these are, Ron's made $4 million, Ron and Judy have made $4 million a year in this industry with their best year. When you can attract that kind of leadership, and you guys know, I mean, look at the following basically for Ron and Judy, and when you can attract that kind of leadership and build that kind of team and that kind of family in being able to build a company, we're just incredibly fortunate. And so you're going to see, and part of it is, as you met some of the leaders here, you really saw really kind of a diverse background of people. And it was interesting when you look at what it is that we're attracting and who we're attractive to. And I can tell you, we've got, Chuck had mentioned about the woman in Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan, just to let you know, so Kazakhstan is a little annex basically of Russia, is what it is. The average income in Kazakhstan is $200 a month. And we basically hit a team, some leaders in Kazakhstan, or a woman in Kazakhstan who within the last 6 weeks has almost 400 people now in her group in 6 weeks' time. And it's basically, what it is, and she's not a network marketer. She doesn't have any network marketing experience. And most of what we're building over there are people that don't have network marketing experience, just average people that understand where the internet's going, understand where mobile is going, and want to position themselves in front of those trends. You're going to see some statistics about this. This is the most, when you look at technology, this is the most personal device that's ever been developed. And it's interesting that, it goes with us everywhere. We will be out driving basically somewhere, and go back to the house if in fact we've left this. So, when you look at it, let's look at, there was just a thing that was done at Baylor University, and it basically showed that students in Baylor University are on their cell phones an average of 12 hours a day. They're actually on their cell phones more than they are studying, more than they are sleeping. And I'll tell you, I've got a daughter that's 17 years old, that's a high school senior. I think she's on that phone more than that. I think she's probably on that phone 14 hours a day. So, when you look at trends, and you look at how this is evolving, and you look at basically what's going on with mobile commerce now, and the ability to be able to get in front of this, to be able to very easily share. I could be in a group of college students right now, basically, and I talk about the app, and you know what they do? They're downloading the app just like that. It's second nature, basically, to them. So the great thing, and let's talk about the college students for a second. They're coming out of school right now, usually, how much in debt, really? And what's the job market for them? So, look at the opportunity there. Look at the opportunity of the people here that have understood it and basically taken it. Whether you're looking at retirement, you're trying to figure out a way to be able to create a residual income through retirement, whether you're in a situation where you've got kids to put through school or weddings to be able to plan for. When you look at the market really for our service and our opportunity, it's huge. I was just talking to Andy here basically at the break. And just from a CPA standpoint, Andy is a CPA, he's got basically a tax software that he does. Even a situation of having a home-based business and being able to write off your expenses rather than give those expenses to the government with taxes, why not just be smart about it? So there's all kinds of, if you look really at the opportunity for our company and what we position ourselves in front of, that's really what I'm most excited about. And again, I've seen a lot of trends happen in my business career, as I know you guys have as well. And I have never seen, basically, the opportunity now that presents itself with e-commerce and with mobile. Just never seen it. And when you see the growth, I mean, you're going to see some things, for example, with regards to what's happening in China. There's a company in China called Alibaba. I don't know how many of you guys have heard of Alibaba. Just had the largest public offering in the history of corporate America. Raised $25 billion in their initial public offering. A little company out of China. They've primarily been in China. They're now going to go. It's basically does more business than Amazon and eBay combined. They have AliExpress. They've got Alipay. They've expanded. What's happening in China now is China is actually moving away from a manufacturing job environment, basically, now to a technology. And in Beijing, you've actually got now the technology infrastructure and people getting involved in the internet and mobile that now rivals Silicon Valley. So those are the shifts that are, and in China there's 1.2 billion people. We haven't even touched China yet. When you look at the footprint and look at where we're at right now and look at really what the opportunity is worldwide, and that's what I'm going to share with you. And that's why I really want you guys to be able to grasp, is exactly where we're at right now, what's happening in the world around us, where things are going in the next 5 years, and how you can profit from it, and how we've set this up. And I'm going to demystify everything for you as well, because I'm going to show you exactly how we make money and why we make money, and how we basically pay out that money as well, so that you can answer those questions. So that's going to be part of my presentation. And again, success is about getting in front of the right trends at the right time and then being able to execute. And here's where the trends that we're in front of, really e-commerce, and the growth of e-commerce and the growth of mobile, and the growth of mobile commerce, and what you're going to see with regards to mobile commerce. And also the company growth, because part of it, and especially with direct sales companies, the ideal situation is to get with the right company just as it's starting to go into momentum, and then hope it becomes a legacy company. A company like an Avon, an Amway, an Herbalife, a Nu Skin, one of those companies that's around 30, 40, 50 years. That's the, talking about timing and trends, that's really the ideal situation. I'm going to show you exactly where we're at, what kind of growth that we've had, and compare us basically to other companies in the industry at this time. Go ahead, Chuck. Chuck had mentioned this, talking about e-commerce growth a little bit. And what happened was, e-commerce, again, went from $55 billion. Amazon was the original, and just to give you guys a little bit of history, here's Amazon, basically. Amazon's really the benchmark for e-commerce and has been. And the way that they've set up the user experience, they make it very simple to be able to buy off Amazon. They started actually as a bookstore, online books. And they now basically have evolved into selling just about everything. But in 2003, again, $55 billion. This last year, 2013, $1.29 trillion. Here we are, a $1 trillion industry, still growing at 20% per year. Now, again, a $1 trillion industry growing at 20% per year, and we just really getting started. Because when you look at mobile, and you look at mobile commerce, and I don't know from a banking situation, but Apple is just coming out with their iPhone 6. Part of their iPhone 6 basically has a payment processing system that's part of it. I don't know who you guys bank with, but we bank with Bank of America corporately, and I do personally. And when you go online, have you seen Apple Pay is coming? Apple Pay is coming. So the whole thing now, not only is the shift going towards being able to surf the internet, being able to use it to be able to find the best deals, being able to use your mobile phone to do that, but now being able to pay via that mobile phone as well, having it as a mobile wallet. And we've got a partner in Indonesia that we just basically formed a partnership where they already have that e-wallet partnership, so that eventually we're also going to be able to not only make money as people are buying things and taking certain action, but also on the processing side as well, as they're using that mobile phone to be able to pay for product. And unlike the Facebooks and those other companies, again, just to reiterate, we built Facebook. You invited your friends. You provide the content that keeps people coming back to Facebook, but Facebook doesn't pay you any of that money. So we've turned that paradigm around basically in everything that we do, whether it's commerce, whether it's going to be advertising on the mobile phone, whether it's making the payments over the mobile phone, we pay you guys for being able to share Shopping Sherlock. Next slide, please. Okay, this is interesting, and I really want you guys to be, we talked about the fact that this has become ubiquitous, basically, and everybody, the most personal technology device that we've ever seen, really, in our lifetimes, and probably ever will see. Look at the statistics here. By the end of 2014, we expect 1.76 billion people to own and use smartphones. That's up 25% over 2013. China, by May of 2015, will have 540 million smartphones. Now, and growing even more rapidly. According to, and if you look at India, look what's happening in India. India is expected to surpass 104 million in 2014. They're doubling. They're doubling from 51 million to 104 million. And mobile, look what's happening with mobile commerce, guys. Purchases made using a smartphone rose 48% in the second quarter of this year. 48% in the second quarter of this year. You know, and what happened, the amazing thing to me about that was even the eBays, the Amazons, the Facebooks, they were caught off guard by how quickly this happened. Because we've all been saying it's coming, but even they've been caught off guard. Facebook now, they don't even consider themselves a social network anymore. You know what Facebook is? Facebook is a mobile company. That's what they consider themselves. Yahoo now says that they're mobile first. So all these big companies are basically making this shift away from this because they see what's going on. And the great thing about this is it's not happening. The United States is not really leading the way on this right now. It's happening all over the world. You can be anywhere in the world, basically. You'll be on a train station. You'll be sitting in a doctor's office, anywhere in the world. And what are people doing? They're basically on their mobile phone. So again, you know, when you look at the opportunity of where we are, I really want you to understand the magnitude of what you have in front of you here and really what the opportunity is. These are the percentage of the people, the users that actually engage in m-commerce right now, buying things over the mobile phone throughout the world. And if you look at it, I don't know how well you can see that. Can you guys see it in the background as well? Okay. In Mexico, 39%, the US, 46%, the UK, 38%. China, 73% of people right now basically buy over their mobile phones. You know what the interesting thing about China is as well, is not only are they changing from a manufacturing base, and they're changing from a manufacturing base for a number of different reasons. Number one, you're going to see something called digital printing continue to come on in the future, which basically makes it easy to be able to print, to take away their manufacturing base. So they're going to make a shift, because even with digital printing and the shared economy that's happening, not only is it going to affect their manufacturing, and it already has, because my girlfriend, who was in the clothing business for 20 years and used to do a lot of business with China, has now moved away from China, as have a lot of other companies that used to do manufacturing there, because the cost of doing business and manufacturing in China has gone up dramatically. And so it's basically being shifted over to Indonesia and to Vietnam and other places, and so they're having to change and evolve their economy, basically. But not only is it affecting the manufacturing segment, but it's also, the manufacturing segment also does trucking and shipping, so there's all kinds of other industries that are part of that manufacturing segment that also get affected. And so, again, when you look at the market, you look at what Alibaba did, and you look at a group of 1 billion people that are looking for opportunities. As you know, China is becoming more and more capitalistic. The same thing with India, the same thing with Russia, the same thing with a lot of different parts of the world. And you look at that opportunity with the number of smartphones, it just, it really it's just exciting. So, again, China 73%, Japan 44%, Brazil 30%, Argentina 25%, Saudi Arabia, India 54%, Australia 41%. Now, where are we, basically? We are in really about 3% of the countries right now. We are doing some business in the UK. We've got some pretty good leadership going on in the UK. We got our first $1 million earner, basically, in the UK, Simon Brooks. So we're actually here in the United States and really just getting started here in the United States. We've got, some people in Japan, about 300 people in Japan. We're not into Mexico yet. We've just got some people now in Ecuador. We've got a couple hundred people in Ecuador, not really in South America. And in most of Europe, other than the UK and Italy and doing some business in Sweden, it's still wide open for us. So again, when you look at the timing and you look at the opportunity and you look at it around the world, it's never been easier to be able to build a worldwide opportunity right from your home. That's, another thing to basically be able to look for. And look at, I want to talk about how we're going to get, and here's where I look at too, and how we're going to get to $1 billion company. What's basically going to get us there? if you look at the market size and you look at by 2018, what they're predicting from an e-commerce and an m-commerce and a mobile commerce, they're saying it's going to be $5 trillion worldwide. You know, so if you look at that market, 10% of the market share, because as a businessman, here's what I do, is I look at what percentage of the market can we get? You know, where are we at, basically, what percentage of the market that can we get? When you look at 1/10 of 1% of that market equals $5 billion. That's an opportunity. When you also look at China having 540 million smartphone users, and 1/10 of 1% of that means 540,000 potential affiliates and customers, you know, just for 1/10 of 1% of that market, that's a market opportunity. Okay. Let me talk a little bit about where we're at. You know, a little bit of the history of the company and kind of where we're at. We're started in May of 2014. Really, you know, it took us the first several months to really kind of get our arms around the technology and put our systems and platforms in place. In 2013 was really our first full year in business. We were profitable in month 2, just to let you know. We were profitable in month 2 and have been profitable ever since. Made an acquisition as well along the way. In September of last year, acquired another company. But in 2014, we actually reached 2013 sales by June of 2014, and we're on target right now to potentially triple 2013 for the next couple of months. And I want to basically, so for the rest of the year, 2014, we've got a shot at tripling 2013. And I want to, so when you look at growth rate, and I want to put that into perspective for you. Go ahead. I want to show you some of the companies basically in our industry and kind of what they've done and kind of where we're at and kind of what we're hoping for and what to expect. And what I know a lot of the leaders that are with this company also, why they got involved with our company. The first one I want to talk about is really ViSalus. And ViSalus is the weight loss company that came out with the shakes. It was basically, with their little motto, buy 3, yours is free. Just to let you know, ViSalus actually started in 1997. I'm showing from 2005 here, but they started in 1997. In 2007, they basically almost went out of business. They had $6 million in debt. They had to go raise some money from Life, which is a publicly traded company, which basically ended up purchasing a majority of the company, and now they've kind of bought them back. But look what happened. So in 2000 and really even in 2010, they were at $4 million. By 2003, they went to $623 million. That's the kind of growth that they had, and that's what's possible in network marketing. And the interesting thing is that we pay out, just to let you know, we pay out 68% of everything that comes in. Life, or ViSalus, because they were part of the publicly traded company, Life has to report basically their earnings. So if you look at their earnings and you look at the amount that went into their compensation plan, they're paying out about 32%. And we pay out 68% because we're a digital company. We don't have the manufacturing. And by the way, these companies look to, one of the problems with manufacturing as a network marketing company, and I can tell you this because I've invested in, one of the companies that I invested in was actually a juice company, so I know the metrics here. They look to be able to mark those products up 7 times, basically. That's what the owners look to be able to do. So you've got a $10 product, the manufacturer, they look to mark it up to $70, and then they'll put what's called BB to CB in it, and they'll pay out a percentage of that in the compensation plan. And they've got the manufacturing, they've got the warehousing, they've got the shipping. By the time that product gets to you with taxes and shipping, you're looking at $100 to your door, and they're actually paying out, when you look at it, they take a BB to CB, so they pay out usually on $60 of that, and they pay out half of that. So, but, look what's possible basically with this. Go on to the next one, please. This is a company, anybody ever heard of Sensi? So let me tell you about Sensi. One of the companies that I invested in basically in the network marketing space in 2000, I invested in them in 2003. They then became a company called Sterigenics that got bought by another company called Viva. In 2006, basically, Sensi was on the verge of going out of business. We were in discussions to be able to merge Sensi with this other company, basically, because the other company, when I originally gave the investment into it, actually was a candle company with soy candles, a natural company, or a natural soy candles, and it was a good fit for Sensi, because, you know, so there was a good potential synergy there. But look what happened with Sensi, basically, from 2007 to look what happened to them in literally, and this is 2000, and last year, 2013, I think it was $570 million they did. Look at that, and you know what, and Sensi is primarily just the United States. They've just started their international expansion. And you know what it is? It's basically these candle, or these melt warmers that they have, these ceramic things that have a light bulb in it, and you actually put the melts in it, and it actually melts it. So look at the growth, basically, and so I want you to really kind of compare that, or understand, excuse me, the opportunity when you're talking about that kind of product as compared to something like this, and what's happening around the world with this. Next slide, please. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Isogenics, but again, another weight loss company, just to kind of let you know. Isogenics, if you look at their growth, basically, you know, I think this year they'll do about $450 million as a weight loss company as well. Look at that growth, and I want you to understand where we're at right now. 2 years into our company, the fact that we've been profitable since month 2, and the fact that we are about to, we've got literally 2% of the world that we're, you know, the countries in, and really what the opportunity is for you here. And that's the purpose of really these slides. I want you to understand kind of where we're at, what we're so excited about. And I want to tell you something else. Here's what's happening. And, you know, these companies, these product companies have some great products. I'm not saying anything negative about those product companies. But here's the day and age that we live in. You go out to somebody, basically, and you talk to them about a business opportunity. What's the first thing that they're going to do? They're going to Google that company. And here's what happens these days. The product companies, because those products are generally more expensive than people are going to find, you know, out in the regular marketplace, they've got to sell the benefits of that product. So what happens is that if reps are not making their monthly fees, which are or their auto ships, which are usually $100, maybe a little bit more, you know, they are going to quit that company. They're not going to continue to take that product. And if they bought a decent amount of product, what are they going to do? They're going to put it up on eBay, on Amazon, or whatever. So if you're doing research for one of those product companies, basically, because you're looking to get involved, chances are that you're going to see that on the internet for less expensive, cheaper, than you can buy wholesale as a distributor with that company. That's a tough argument to overcome. You know, that's, again, one of the distinct advantages that we have with Shopping Sherlock, because we're about saving money. And that's what people are using the internet to do. They're price shopping. They are basically, if you're looking to go on a trip, what are you doing? You're basically going to either Kayak, you're going to hotels.com, you're going to Priceline, you're looking for the best deal, and then what else are you going to do? You're going to TripAdvisor because you want to see the reviews, basically. That's just the nature. If you're looking for a product, you're going to price compare, you're going to try and find the best deal. And, you know, when you're talking about online shopping, you know, the millennial men, if they could do all their shopping online, they would. Millennial men, basically, you know, up to like 28 to 30 years old, if they could do all of their shopping online, they would. And that's really where it's going towards. So how do you capitalize? You know, again, network marketing, and you know, if you compare it to other companies where you have a product, maybe it's a weight loss product, maybe it's a skincare product, maybe, you know, one of those kind of products, you're going to have somebody want to be a user of the product. You're going to wait to see the results, basically, because they're going to want to see what kind of results, and then hopefully they become a distributor with the company. With our company, you simply give it away for free. That's our model. You give it away for free, and you build a team of people that do the same thing. And here's really what our advantages are. We have a 68% payout because there is no product in inventory. And what do? We just help people save time and money. That's our model. And, you know, the great thing about this business, and Chuck had mentioned really a little bit about what's happening in other parts of the world. So I'm going to kind of share with you a little bit of stories. The one is a woman by the name of Jennifer Rosario. And when you talk about the people that are basically getting involved with our company, you guys can see kind of the broad swatch here of people that are getting involved. Professional people. We're starting to attract more and more young people, especially because of our mobile app, because they grew up with that technology. It's just such a natural for them to be able to pick up and see what the opportunity is, and they share all this stuff with their friends anyway. I mean, my daughter, has 4,000 friends on Facebook. She's got and she doesn't even use Facebook anymore. Now with her, it's Instagram and it's Twitter and and it's basically Vine and it's Snapchat. I mean, I can't even, I try to keep track of the things that she's doing, but it's bizarre. And something, I try to fight it. I really do, because I see her, she's with her friends and they're basically doing this Snapchat thing, and then they're sending it out to their social networks and they're waiting for the social validation. She'll try something on and she'll send it out. It's just, drives me crazy. But it is what it is. There's no stopping it. I mean, there really is no stopping it. So you've got to figure out how to do it responsibly and really how to profit from it. How to take advantage of and profit from the things that are happening around the world. So Jennifer Rosario. So here's what happens. So Jennifer Rosario is actually a nanny in the UK. She comes to a meeting, and while she was at the meeting, basically, she says, she was actually brought with a couple other people. One of them is named Mike and Luz, basically. And so Jennifer says, so the meeting happens and Luz is there, and she said, let me talk to my husband, Mike, about this. So Luz goes out and talks to Mike. In the meantime, Jennifer signs up. So Luz and Mike happen to fall underneath Jennifer, basically, on this. And here's Jennifer. She's a nanny. That's what she does. That's her occupation over there. So Mike and Luz end up bringing in a couple called Miles and Gabriel, who end up bringing in Elaine Santos, who end up bringing in a woman by the name of Kay, who end up bringing in two other people, and then one of the guys is a guy named Willie, who was a Filipino Elvis impersonator. And Willie brings in a guy named Peter Blackwell, who is a judo champion out of Sweden. And all of a sudden, basically, Jennifer now, and then Sweden basically explodes, and within literally probably a 6-month time period, we've got 700 people in Sweden that Peter is directly responsible for. And Jennifer didn't know anything about those people and basically just made that decision to get involved. And here's Jennifer, now averages about $2,000 a week with our company, and likes to get on stage and say that she makes more than the vice president of the Philippines. And so when you look at, Frasier, 26 years old, for those of you that see Frasier, 26 years old, happened to be on Skype and found a guy by the name of Sergey, who owned a Russian restaurant in the UK. Now Sergey saw this and said, I would like to be able to, advertise my Russian restaurant on the Sherlock. He saw it as a good opportunity. And by the way, when you look at that and you look at kind of what's happening in the space as well, a lot of these retail businesses are now trying to figure out, how do I compete with the Amazon? Because Amazon comes in and you know what their thing is? What's your margin? Because that's my opportunity. Amazon will look at a company basically, or look at an opportunity and say, what's really the margin over there, the profit margin, because that's really what my opportunity is. Because I'm going to cut down that profit margin, sell it for a cheaper price, and that's how I'm going to be successful. And the reality is, that's how business is done these days. But, so how does the small business have an opportunity to be able to keep up basically with that? And that's also what our mobile app does, because our mobile app gives that small business the ability to create a coupon, a special, or discount and deliver it basically to a geolocation area like in St. Louis here, and be able to bring value to drive people into their store. And at the same time, if you opt in to receive additional coupons and specials because maybe it's one of your favorite places, they are able to get that profile information and be able to do push marketing to you and let you know when they've got additional discounts and specials. So that's one of the things that we've done with our mobile phone that I think that you're going to find very exciting as well, is really giving those small businesses the ability to be able to compete in their local markets by doing with the same thing that the big boys are doing. Go ahead so, before we get into that, before we get into what's next, so I was talking about Fraser. So Fraser basically finds Sergey on Skype. Sergey has been in the UK for about 15 years, but he comes from Russia. So all of a sudden, basically, Sergey is building a Russian organization, and Fraser, who's 26 years old, basically just graduated from college not too long ago, all of a sudden has a Russian group going. And then Sergey finds, basically through his Russian group, ended up finding this woman in Kazakhstan who in the last now became the fastest global in all of 2014. And now we've got, in 6 weeks, has put in almost 400 people in Kazakhstan, basically. And Fraser, who did Fraser know? Fraser knows none of these people. And all of a sudden Fraser, who's 26 years old, will now, Fraser will make $100,000 this year as a 26-year-old kid. And that's how easily and quickly this business is going. Now, does it work like that for everybody? No, not necessarily, but the reality is, this is a business. You got to treat it like a business. You've got to expose people to the business. You're just giving away an app. You're not really selling. And then for people that want to make a living doing the same thing, or have an opportunity to be able to make extra money doing the same thing, you just give them that opportunity to be able to give away the app and make extra money. And whether it's basically as usage income by giving it away and just making that, or making an additional $400 to $500 dollars a month that'll change people's lives. The opportunity with Shopping Sherlock fits really a lot of different needs and whatever people want. Maybe they just want a home-based business and they want to be able to write off some of the things that they're currently basically paying the government for, whether it's their phone or entertainment or part of a housing expense or a car for whatever. It just gives them the ability to be able to do that for $249 and $34. And that in and of itself has significant value, let alone the ability to participate in one of the biggest trends that you're going to see in your lifetime, and having the ability to be able to profit from it by giving it away for free and being able to make money as people utilize it. Now I want to demystify really how we make money. So here's the way we make money. The same way Amazon built their business. Amazon built their business by basically going out to other websites through affiliate marketing and saying, hey, you put the Amazon logo or banner on your website and somebody clicks on it, we'll pay you a commission for driving that sale. So what we do is we have affiliate relationships with the top affiliate networks around the world. Here in the United States, and some of you might have heard of these names, Commission Junction, which has about 60,000 companies, LinkShare, which is basically the second biggest affiliate network company. In Europe, we've got affiliate relationships with Affiliate Window and Xanax. Affiliate Window is the largest affiliate network in the UK. Xanax is the largest affiliate network in Europe. In Asia with the OMG network, and in Russia, we put together affiliate relationships with Adnodad and GeoShlon, which are the two largest affiliate networks in Russia. The differences right now in Russia as well, because of the growth that you're seeing in Russia and the growth in e-commerce, if one of our reps over there, or our affiliates in Russia, brings to Adnodad a company that wants to participate in affiliate marketing and be part of their network, we make a commission on the entire sales that happens throughout that entire network. So as other publishers pick up the offer as well, we make a commission on that. And what we do is we basically just pay the commissions out to the field. So all the affiliate commissions we basically put into a pool and we pay it out to the field based on usage. So you give away the app, you see in your back office how many people are actively using the Sherlock, and our reporting is about to get even more detailed for you so you can see exactly what the usage is as well, and we pay you a usage income for basically sharing. So that's basically how you get paid on the usage income, and then as you sell systems, you get paid basically on the system sales, and you get paid on the monthly. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the $249 and $34.95 a month, and I've got a little bit of a skewed kind of bias for it. Oh, by the way, Kazakhstan, as I mentioned before, the average income there is $200 a month. So literally anybody can afford $249. When I look at it too, I was fortunate to be in the franchise space kind of at a good time, because it was really when And I don't know, for those of you that have been around the internet, if you remember this, but in the early 2000s, kind of the big thing was really email marketing. So you used to buy opt-in email lists and literally send out millions of emails on the opt-in list, and the delivery rates were still pretty good back then as well. So that's what I did, basically. I was dealing with all the big list companies, you know, and doing opt-in email to these, you know, for finding leads for people that were interested in buying a franchise. But the interesting thing for me is budget blinds, for example, or I'll use supercuts. So supercuts, I don't know if you guys know this, but the franchise fee to buy it, to actually just to get a supercut franchise at that time was $49,000. To open your own supercuts, it was $100,000 plus, usually between $100,000 and $120,000 to open your own supercuts. And you know what you would make for that? Literally, a good supercuts franchisee was making $35,000. How were they getting wealthy? They were buying multiple franchises. That's how the people made, so they buy 10 supercuts franchises. That's how the people made a lot of money. But looking at a $49,000 franchise fee and then having to pay a royalty to basically corporate, and then looking at the operating expense of having to operate that supercuts and manage all those hairdressers and everything else, you know, so here, when we look at $249 to own your own business, and literally $34.95 a month as overhead to be able to run your business, literally we've made this affordable for anybody in the world to be able to get involved in the business. And that's one of the reasons that we've had the success that we've had, and that's one of the reasons that we go to other countries. And it's interesting because, you know, in Europe, like for example, in London, the pound, it's like $1.50 for American dollar per pound. So in Europe, it's really, or that's in the UK. In Europe, if you look at the euro, you know, our opportunity is dirt cheap in Europe, really. And even in areas like Kazakhstan and other places where, you know, we've got people that you know, in the Philippines and Kazakhstan and China and India, anybody in the world that wants to get involved in our business can do it for $249 and $34.95 a month. Go ahead to the next slide. So I'm going to tell you basically what's next. So we just launched in our beta our mobile app, and we did that literally 3.5 weeks ago now. So here's, you know, so we basically launched in beta. So we had a private beta. We had a few people that were working with it beforehand. We launched the public beta with it. We've now gotten feedback. We're making, based on the feedback that we've got, we're basically iterating it, making some changes with it as well, and improving a little bit. And, you know, I would say our development team is telling us that, you know, all that should be done here this coming week, and then it's got to be put through the iTunes store again. So our first round of basically iteration will be done, you know, by the end of this month at the latest. But one of the cool things about our mobile app that we have, and just to let you know kind of the features and the functionality and some of the things that we're looking at. So the first thing is really the invite system. What it allows you to do is basically send it out to anybody, have them come in and basically download the app, and then they then share it, and somebody else that downloads the app. It basically goes in and shows you around the world basically your growth, your reach on a world map. And then it breaks it down also by country, so you can see it by country as well. So it's got a really cool invite system. We've got a corporate messaging tool around it because, you know, unfortunately, really the most effective way to communicate with people right now is through their mobile phones, through text marketing basically, and through texts. So we've got the ability now to communicate with you guys via the mobile phone, and also to communicate with the customers. So as different companies are offering deals and specials around the holidays and so forth, we've got the ability to be able to offer that to them to drive your usage income as well. It also has the price scanner so that you can be out anywhere, take a picture of the barcode, and see where you can get the best deal for that product. It's also got you can put in a product basically if you're not in front of it, and be able to use the same thing that Shopping Sherlock has right now, be able to see where you can get the best deal for a product or service. It also has the daily deals and so forth, so you could be out in a certain area and see what companies are offering daily deals or whatever it is that you're interested in. And lastly, it's got the ability for you to be able to go to a small business and have that small business sign up basically and be able to deliver a coupon or a special or a discount. So again, if you're out in St. Louis, you can see which of those small businesses are offering coupons, discounts, and specials for our affiliates and also our customer base. So that's the mobile app, and it's going to continue to, technology continues to evolve, and what we'll do is we'll get feedback from the field and continue to, based on the feedback that we get from the field, continue to evolve it, because that's basically the technology methodology right now. Companies will put out a product and they'll see what kind of feedback they get basically from the users, and they'll iterate the product based on the feedback that we've got. So we knew based on Shopping Sherlock what the features that you guys were looking for. We've incorporated that. We're currently getting the initial feedback on our app, and here, like I said, within 2 weeks we'll have that initial feedback incorporated into our mobile app. But that's really kind of, again, this is, make no mistake about it, this is the future of our company. Right here. So this is where we're going, this is where we're headed, and this is the future of our company, and you're going to see some interesting things come out of this as well as we continue to move forward with regards to partnerships with companies around the world that look at our distribution model and say, hey, I like that, can we use you guys basically to help to distribute our product and service? But you're going to see this is going to be the focus of what you're going to see from a development standpoint with Shopping Sherlock, because this is the future. The other thing that I want to talk about is we're going to have a new category, and that's the gift card category. I've literally been astonished by the growth really in gift cards over the last 5 years. And what happens now is, especially during the holidays or during, Facebook kind of started this where they had the birthdays and the calendars, so the birthday would come up and then you have a chance to be able to give them a Starbucks, basically, gift card or something along those lines. We're going to be incorporating a gift card category as well with the calendar, so that you can put in basically whoever it is that you guys are, want to give gifts to. It'll give you a little reminder, and then you can go right into the gift cards and make money, basically have usage income coming out of giving the gift cards. That's going to be it. And what's happening now is you're going away from the physical gift cards to the virtual gift cards. I don't know if you guys have been noticing this at all, where you can actually go in, like for Starbucks, for example, you can go in with a gift card and actually just show the barcode, and it basically scans the barcode. That's where things are moving towards, and that's basically the direction we're moving with the gift card program. The next thing that we're working on right now is a loyalty program. Let me tell you what I mean by loyalty. That's incentivizing people to be able to take certain actions. There's actually a company in Silicon Valley right now called ShopKicks. If you guys want to look up ShopKicks. And what ShopKicks does is they say, okay, if you go into a store, they give you kicks, or what's called points, and you can use those points to be able to redeem them for additional discounts and so forth. And we're going to be incorporating a loyalty program into our mobile app where you give the product away. You're also that person, basically, that customer is incentivized to be able to give it away. They go when they purchase something, they get additional points. They go into a store, they get additional points, and they can use those points then to go back and be able to purchase gift cards and so forth. They'll get discounts. Because everything is really also going towards loyalty, and it's a little bit of a gamification kind of thing. The same way that what we're hoping for, and the reason that we did this, is that when you give the app away and your customers give it away, and you see that growth on a world map, we're hoping that basically you want to continue to come back to see what your growth is. The same thing happens with points. It's kind of an interesting phenomenon. It's called kind of the gamification is what it's called. The same thing happens with points. People always want to know how many points that they have. And so we're incorporating that loyalty program to do the points to be able to increase the engagement, build up our back end, build up your usage income, because we know that's kind of where things are going to go as well. And you're going to see more and more of these loyalty programs and the whole gamification thing come into play. And it's really big in Asia right now as well. So that's also what you're going to see, and you're also going to see some new bonus pools. We're looking at, we've done a couple different things. Now, we pay out 68% of every dollar that comes into the company. When you start to see significant, when you start to see volume come into your organization, you'll see how that pays out, and you'll get a full appreciation for what that means, as well as the matching income. But we also, and we just changed our program as well to pay people out quicker on when people bring new people or sell systems and so forth. We've improved that. But we're going to have bonus pools for a couple different reasons to be able to incentivize new people as they get involved. Because a lot of people will get involved because they need money right now. So we're going to use the new bonus pools to be able to incentivize that. And we're going to use it in a couple other ways as well. So that's on top of everything that we're currently doing. It's also on top of the equity thing. And I don't want to, Chuck had mentioned the equity, but we are going, the goal of this company is to be $1 billion plus company. I want, and I know it doesn't, the product is important, the leadership's important, the comp plan is important, but really the biggest asset that we have is you guys. I know that, I've been involved in this industry and on a number of different levels for many years to fully understand. It doesn't really matter about me, it doesn't matter about the product, it doesn't matter about the comp plan. Those things are, the comp plan and the product are important, but the biggest asset we have is the field and field leadership. And I love the culture that we're building here as well. And when we can attract, people like Ron and Judy into our business and some of the other people that we've been able to attract and Chuck and so forth and build that culture and that family. And I'll show you how we're doing that and kind of what our plans are as well. That's the key component. And so we share the equity as well. So as we march to $1 billion company, I want you guys, I want the leaders of the company to have ownership also in this company. So that's part of our equity pool. And again, the new small business opportunities and income streams. So here's kind of what we looked at, and just to kind of let you know what the thought process was. We originally brought out a product called Best in Social, and the Best in Social product was for small businesses, but it was $479 and $79 a month. And I would rather, we want to try and scale this as quickly as possible. So what we're going to do is actually the ability for a small business to get involved with us, we're going to give it away to them. And we're going to monetize it on the back end. So when people basically download a coupon or they go in and make a purchase, we're going to actually build a company for that because we know that's going to be a better way to be able to scale it and bring the value. Because if you're here in St. Louis and not only are you able to get the best price, but you've got deals from 15 to 20 other companies here, and some of these are your favorite, and you can get those deals as well. We know the value that continues to bring to the app and the value that it brings to the opportunity. So our model basically is going to be to give it away and to be able to monetize it basically on the back end. So that's going to be our strategy also with the small business.
So can you talk a little bit more about that when you come and give away this small business owners going to be able to get discounts and coupons? That's so huge.
Right, they're going to be able to brand the app basically if they want for their business and give it away, give discounts and specials and coupons, and then what happens basically is it's got an analytics program on the back end, so it shows them who basically has downloaded a coupon. As they basically go in, they'll be able to have with a QR code be able to scan it, and it allows that small business also to be able to build a database that they can market to as well, create loyalty programs with, to be able to do push marketing and market to. So it really gives a small business the ability to be able to also compete in this marketplace. And that's one of the things that's also going to set us apart. So
that's huge.
All right, so again, part of what we do too, we just had our convention, our European convention in Europe. We've got our 2015 convention at sea. We're going to actually, and the company will pay for it if you meet certain qualifications through the end of the year. We're going to be going to Jamaica and the Grand Cayman Islands as well with the convention at sea. And then we also have a program basically called, so it's all about building the culture and building the family. Sometimes people basically get involved in an opportunity because they just want to belong to an organization or a group or be around a group of people that they want to be around. I know that's why Ron and Judy continue to, after so many years, be able to attract people to their businesses and their endeavors, and because it's a really lifelong friendship, and it's really building that culture and building that community. And different than corporate America, as you guys know, because we've really had, and I don't mean to digress, but I'm going to digress for a second here. Corporate America's had an interesting situation where even though there's a recovery underway, and if you guys go out to restaurants and that, we were in St. Charles last night, it's vibrant, it's booming right now. The economy is absolutely recovering, but it's a jobless recovery. Because what's happening now is that because everything is becoming more automated, and because of the fact that automation is replacing people and so forth, and because a lot of these bigger corporations are beholden to shareholders and more interested in really corporate profits, rather than people and basically employees, we've had a jobless recovery, and it's not going to change basically. You know, I actually feel sorry for people that are coming out of college these days with degrees in sociology and history and those kind of things that have, you know, $100,000 in debt, some of these people, and they're coming into a job market where they're struggling to try and find a job, or they're looking at, you know, $12 to $15 an hour with regards to a job. You know, so we provide an interesting answer, but that's part of the time that we live in right now, and part of I don't think it's going to really change. I think with the shared economy, with what some of the other things that you're saying, you know, I don't know, you know, people really have to have specialized skills or they're going to be left behind. You know, I don't know how many of you are seeing that or feeling that, or, you know, what's happening in the marketplace, but it's going to be a trend that you're going to continue to see. So we've got a convention at sea, and then one of the things, unlike other corporations that basically, and it really pisses me off, because you guys have some great corporations here in St. Louis. You've got some of the top aerospace companies, right, here in St. Louis, and you've got Bush and so forth. I'm sure they give back to the communities, but, you know, one of the things that we also do is we've got a pay it forward program that we do with Shopping Sherlock. And again, what we do is and you'll see this in 2 weeks time period, we ask the field, our affiliates, to nominate basically a family or an organization that they want to support during the holiday time. Last year we did that for 10 different families and organizations, including Willie Davis out of the Philippines. But that's what we do. We basically pay it forward, so our success helps to benefit others. The other thing that we're doing is on the cruise, we just did a relationship with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and one of the things that we're doing is we're taking a family, basically a person that in the family who has a terminal cancer, and we're creating a bucket trip for them and their family, where they're going to be joining us basically for the cruise. Because that's the culture that we want to build. We want to basically be able to build a family culture and give back based on our success as well. So those are some of the things that we're so excited about. The Pay It Forward program started last year. You're going to see that also continue to grow. And we're, you know, like I said, we're excited about the opportunity to be able to work with people and help people that are in need. It's a big component of what we're doing. You know, the last thing that I want to do here is I want to talk a little bit about, so just to summarize a little bit. So I've kind of shared with you a little bit about really what our opportunity is and why we're so excited about what the opportunity is. I shared with you a little bit about, you know, what's happening in the space and kind of where we're at as a company and what we're projected to be able to do. I shared where we're going as a corporation. These are the things that we're working on right now. The loyalty program is something that we're working on. The gift card program, I would say probably within 90 days we'll have those things in place. The challenge, just to let you guys know, the challenge that we have is that even with like the gift card program, there's not one company that basically is international. So we have to go and basically put together relationships with US companies, with European companies. So that's really the challenge. And even when you look at the internet, you would think that the internet, you could basically scale it worldwide. But the reality is there's different companies that have affiliate relationships and different cultures and different nuances throughout the world, in China and India and Europe and so forth. So we have to go in. One of the things that we do is when we get 500 distributors or affiliates in an area, we'll go in and customize the app specifically for them. In their language, we'll bring in their local, their top e-commerce companies. We will customize it to be able to make it, you know, more valuable for that specific area. And it gives us interesting opportunities to be able to go out like we did in Russia and bring in some of the companies that even expand our business and allow us to go and get a percentage of the affiliate sales that happens throughout that entire network. So for example, and let me kind of give you an example of how that works. So somebody in Russia will go out to a business and they'll say, basically, you know, here, you want to participate in our, you know, you can, with Shopping Sherlock, you can create coupons, discounts, and specials, and deliver them in Moscow. And by the way, if you want to get involved in affiliate marketing, we will set you up, basically, with this affiliate network. And what happens is that affiliate network then has maybe 1,000 publishers that look at those offers and say, and the publisher says, I want to carry this offer, I want to put this banner up, or I want to do this interstitial, or whatever it is that they do. And then if somebody buys it, we have the ability to make a percentage of that income as well. So those are some of the fun things that we do as e-commerce and mobile continues to evolve. It gives us at corporate the ability to go out and get creative with regards to putting these kind of partnerships together. So, so we've gone over kind of about the company, about where we're going, about some of the things that we're working on. I will just tell you this, and this is for me as well, and I know it's for some of you also that have had great success, is that, it's a lot of times really, it's the size of success is measured by the strength of your desire and how you handle disappointment along the way. You know what really my big break was? I was, after the internet thing and then getting involved with the franchise marketing, but that's really where I was able to really have, really kind of ride the wave a little bit. But what happened to me is that after I was doing Online Expo, I had a company that came in and basically asked me to, and they had video email back in 2003. And this was, again, ahead of its time. Video email there was all kinds of delivery problems with getting video email basically over the internet, and half the time it wouldn't work. And they were starting a network marketing company, and they asked me to come in and put together a corporate sales program, to create a corporate sales program for them. So what I did was I actually went out and I brought in a company called Budget Blinds. Now, Budget Blinds gave me a check for $23,000. For those of you that are involved in network marketing, to get a corporate sale for $23,000 is pretty significant. Well, I took it back to the guys basically for with the company, and these guys, and it was a lesson that I learned. These guys had lifestyles that they were supporting. One of them had a mansion in Newport Beach, the other in Harbor. Probably had monthly expenses were about $20,000 a month to support their households. They took the money and they gave me $1,000 to go ahead and execute that campaign for Budget Blinds. And I went to the owners of Budget Blinds basically, and I said, I like what you guys are doing. I believe in you. Let me go ahead and work with you guys separately, create an advertising agency, and help to drive new leads for you. And they agreed to do that. And literally, we took them from 200 to 1,000. Or part of taking them from 200 to 1,000 franchises in literally a 3-year time period. And that was really my break. I kind of turned lemonades into lemons. And the thing was, at a $49,000 franchise fee, I could go out and generate leads basically all day long and charge them a huge premium on leads because they didn't need to convert very many of them to be able to not only get their $49,000 back, but they also made a royalty. So it wasn't just that one-time sale they did, but they also made a royalty basically on a monthly basis from all these. So those leads were incredibly valuable to them. So, again, a lot of you guys have, you come in, you'll talk to people about it, maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. It's really a matter of, continuing to overcome, realizing that all you're really doing is sharing it, and, let's be honest, it's just a numbers game. And the great thing about our company is, even if somebody tells you no, they're not interested in a business opportunity at this time, for whatever reason, you can always just give them the app. Why don't you just download the app and use it basically and get the benefits of that? It's free. And that way you've got a customer that basically, so there really is no because, hopefully they'll download the app and they'll become a customer of yours, and ultimately maybe their timing will be a little better. That's something I think is a distinct advantage also that we have from a direct sales standpoint. And then always bear in mind, from Abraham Lincoln, that your resolution to succeed is more important than any other. And it's really about, if one thing I can share with you, it's interesting if we can share stories about people that have had success, that have changed their lives with Shopping Sherlock already just after 2 years. But the reality is, when you talk to people, it's not really about you, it's not really about your offer, it's not about what you have, it's about what their needs are. It's about developing a relationship with somebody, trying to figure out where they're at, what their needs are, and basically using Shopping Sherlock potentially as a vehicle to help them achieve their goals and their dreams. That's where, and the people that do that are the people that have the greatest success in our industry. And lastly, it goes back to strive to be a success, not a success, but rather value to others. And if you can show them that you can be of value to them, that you can fulfill a need, a desire, a want, get them out of the hole, get them out of a rut, give them hope. It's interesting. I talked to you about Santorini. I was just in Italy. Here's the interesting thing about what I found about traveling through the world. And let's take Italy. Italy has, for those, I went into Florence and then I also went into Rome and some of the other places in Italy as well. So Italy, the history of Italy is this I mean, you go into Florence, for example, and you see the Renaissance age, and we talk about the U.S. with 200 years of history, basically, a little over 200 years of history. You know, Florence, you talk about the Renaissance age, you see Michelangelo and Da Vinci and Galileo and Raphael, and you go to the Sistine Chapel and you see all these incredible works, you know. You go into Rome and you see things that were, you know, you see basically architecture that's 2000 BC. They've had all this great history, they've got all this phenomenal culture that goes back. But you know what they're lacking right now? Hope. They look at the situation where they're being taxed to death by the government, they're looking at their economy, and the same thing in other parts of Europe as well, like Greece the same way, you know, in other parts of Europe as well. And what are these people looking for? It's hope. That's basically what we give people as well, is hope. And I can tell you one of the things that sends chills up my spine is I will go to the UK, for example, and we'll talk to the Filipino, you know, family. And the Filipino, you know, Jennifer says, you know something? I've had to go, as a lot of my, you know, the Filipinos do, they have to go basically to other countries to make a living and send the money back home. And a lot of times they leave their family and their children back in the Philippines while they go and toil and work at these menial jobs, even though a lot of them are very well qualified. And we've seen that come to our country many times. And the ability for the Sherlock to give them hope that they can basically make a great living and go back home and raise their children, basically, and be part of their children's lives. And the stories that were told to me there literally chills up my, you know, my spine. So that's the most gratifying thing about the business here, is the ability not only to give you guys the ability to get in front of these incredible trends and profit from them, but also what we can do to give people hope around the world to be able to change and impact their lives. So, love coming out here. Chuck, thank you for having me, and thank you for the ability to be able to share it.